Welcome to the Morning Report, a production of fightbackmedia.com, the #1 source of urban conservative information in America.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. It's a pleasure having you here today. This week we have been, I think, pulling back the curtain, is the way to put it, on the vice presidential pick of Kamala Harris. Should never be picking vice presidents like this. But in any case, been pulling back the curtain on Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, because obviously mainstream media is not going to. So somebody's got to. Somebody. So how about if you and I do that? So since he was selected as the VP pick for Kamala Harris earlier this week, there's been a considerable chatter about the headache that Governor Tim Walz, Democrat from Minnesota, has caused. Among his latest causes for concern, and we've talked about a lot of them, is a report from Friday detailing how Walz hosted an imam who celebrated the October 7th attack against Israel and promoted a pro-Hitler website. Now, what we already know that he is pro-Hamas. Now, there's a tweet out there that you're probably going to see that says that he's condemning Hamas for the October 7th attacks in Israel. But is he? Is he? Gabe Kaminsky of the Washington Examiner reported about Walz and Imam Assad Salman of the Muslim American Society in Minnesota. Democrat vice presidential nominee Tim Walz on at least five occasions as governor of Minnesota hosted a Muslim cleric who celebrated Hamas's October 7th attack last year on Israel and promoted a film popular among the neo-Nazis that glorifies Adolf Hitler. The Washington Examiner found the Imam Assad Zaman of the Muslim American Society of Minnesota joined other Muslim leaders in May of 2023 for a meeting about mosque security with Walz's gubernatorial office in Minnesota. Zaman also spoke at a May 2020 event to call for peaceful protests with the governor during the riots in Minnesota, sparked after, of course, the George Floyd death. I'm sure even Zaman was frustrated because guess what? The governor was not interested in some peaceful protest. He was not at all. Anyway, in April 2019, the cleric delivered an invocation before Walz's state address. So before Walz's State of the State address, a Islamic imam did the invocation. Really? So that was just months after Zaman called for the end to a government shutdown at a press conference with Walz on January 2019. Now, why is he concerned about a government shutdown? Anyway, moreover, he attended a May 2019 event that Walz hosted for Ramadan. A social media post show Walz's ties to Zaman could serve as a problematic baggage for a Minnesota governor as he campaigns with Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, Kamala Harris is trying her best to sort of scooch. This is why she's not answering questions. Scooch to what they call the center. And while that's let Walz be that wild out there in left field dude, which is the center of what they really want to do. Anyway, news of the ties also comes after a Washington Free Beacon report this week that found Walz spoke at a 2019 event in an anti-Semitic scholar who had defended terrorism against Israel. In recent years, Zaman has also appeared to equate Hamas committing terrorism to Israel defending itself. State records reviewed by the Washington Examiner show that Walz's administration has awarded over $100,000 in U.S. dollars to the Muslim the Muslim American Society of Minnesota. Is that what it's called? Yeah. The Muslim American Society was once described by federal prosecutors as being founded as the overt arm of the Muslim Brotherhood in the United States. Court records show this. The MAS, which the United Arab Emirates designated as the United Arab Emirates designated as a terrorist group in 2014, came under fire again in 2019 after a video surfaced online of children at an event held by its Philadelphia chapter calling for the murder of Jews. We chop off their heads, and we will liberate the sorrowful and exalted Al-Aqsa Mosque, two girls said at the event, according to the Times of Israel. Walz's office and Minnesota Muslim American Society did not reply to requests for comment. Surprise, a freaking surprise. The report highlights plenty of examples of problematic social media posts made by Zaman. On October 7th, the very same day that Israel was attacked, Zaman shared a post to his Facebook page from the Muslim American Society. MAS stands in solidarity with Palestinians against Israeli attacks, the post claimed, before ranting against Israel occupation and inhumane blockage of Gaza. Now, what we know is that there is no Israeli occupation, and we also know that there's no blockade. The only way that food and important stuff doesn't get to the people of Gaza is because of Hamas. We already know that, right? The post also made no mention of the 1,200 Israelis murdered by Hamas terrorists, or the torture, rape, and the kidnapping. And then we still have Americans being held by Hamas. This report also mentions Zaman using his Facebook to share Hamas press releases in 2016, as well as an anti-Israeli blog post from 2014 on Israeli atrocities in Palestine, the real terrorism in Palestine, so to speak. In 2015, Zaman shared a link to a pro-Hitler film called The Greatest Story Never Told, which is described as a propaganda movie released in 2013, and it is a favorite among anti-Semites and QAnon conspiracy influencers, according to the Anti-Defamation League. Zaman also took issue with Democratic lawmakers expressing their support for Israel after the attacks, including Representative Katie Porter, Democrat from California, and Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party Chairman Ken Martin on October 10th. As Martin shared how he was beyond heartbroken as he had visited the Kfar Aza kibbutz and knew of Israelis who had been brutally killed or kidnapped, the imam still posted to ask if he visited Gaza. He also rallied against apartheid Israel, who, with regards to how the DFL cannot be joined at the hip to apartheid Israel and still hope to court the Muslim vote. Anyway, this is this dude. This is the dude. This is the dude that is being paraded around as a moderate. Obviously, he is not. Obviously, he's not a moderate. He's not a folksy, Midwestern kind of common sense fella. He's not Jimmy Stewart. He is not. He's a wide-eyed, radical leftist, socialist leftist, anti-capitalism leftist. That's who this dude is. Now, for some people, that's what they're looking for. It's not going to make a tinker's damn worth of difference. But I just won't let it go. We have to show these people for who they are. We have to, and with governors, it's easy because you can look at policies. You can look at the $100,000 of taxpayer money going to fund this group, right? $100,000. The Bible says where your treasure is, that's where your heart is, right? So where you put money into is the thing that you think is important. He thinks it's important. So when he has the State of the State address, And the invocation is not given by I don't know, Bill Barker from the First Baptist Church of Minot. It's from this radical imam. All those things together, and we like to separate them as if they're not part of the same thing. They're all part of the same thing. Every single one of them is part of the same damn thing. We cannot let them get away with trying to portray this dude in any other way than who he really is. Hey, listen, thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend. This is Friday. This video is going up on Friday. So enjoy your weekend. And until I see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody. And for goodness sakes, y'all, take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.